Let me know. All right. Good morning, evening, afternoon. Masati here. Hope you're having a fantastic day. So, this is the first Sunday of every month, and the first Sunday every month, what we do is we do a worldwide meditation. So, in this case, we are talking about the Buddha nature, which is quite beautiful, actually. A lot of new things coming up for us in the world. So I'll give you some of my predictions, and then also get us into a deep state meditation. It's called a hyper meditation. So if you're new to me, welcome. Exponential intelligence science, very, very different. It's a very new way to transform the world, and that's what we really need. A very new way to transform the world. Because if you've looked at it, if you looked at the world, we have advanced technology, we have more knowledge than ever, but well, people are getting actually, more, well, I guess, dumber, literally, dumber. The masses are getting more and more unenlightened, so to speak, and we're losing our purpose. Look at the medical look at the medical genres, look at the um, science, look at the religions. It hasn't really worked out the way it should, right? So and that's what Masati on Sunday is about, literally helping us understand a new path, a new concept, a new consciousness, because that's what we need. It's the consciousness that destroys or creates possibilities for us. And in this consciousness, no matter what we do, it's always going to be destructive. You can name me anything, and I'll show you how whatever benevolent opportunities that been around for us, it's turned into destruction, no matter what it is. Okay, and again, comment in. It's a live show. There we go. Erica, world frequency is my favorite. Thanks. So Buddha nature, absolutely. So uh, as you go ahead and get settled, get situated, getting comfortable with where you are, um, we'll talk about the Buddha nature and how to enhance it, how to expand upon it. Okay? What I found out, whether it's Buddha or Jesus or Muhammad or any great individual that has enlightened teachings, the wisdom of the ages, right? Mystical wisdom, some people might call it. But what are we going to do now about it? Okay? Those concepts and those ideas, yes, they're fantastic, okay? But they were thousands of years ago. What have we learned from it? How have we perfected it? We haven't. We really haven't. We've just cycled back, and then through word of mouth, right? That brilliant nature or that brilliant knowledge has been, well, destroyed. So in these world frequency meditations that we do, we'll bring in the natural, teachings of Buddha, then go beyond it. So going beyond does not mean resetting it or redefining it in a whole way, but purifying his wisdom, his knowledge. And we can do that with anything, right? We're supposed to purify the knowledge that we understand. We're supposed to purify, say, our religions. We're supposed to purify our science to get better and better and better. But as humans, what we do is like, nope, let's do this. Let's do this, and then just keep recycling the same knowledge. We can't change that knowledge. We should change that knowledge. We shouldn't change the essence, the presence, or the underlying, say, outcome we desire of that knowledge. Okay. All right. Carol, somebody is landing on the moon. Is that how that's turned destructive? Well, that's a pretty easy one. I thought somebody would say love or something like that, but yeah, landing on the moon. It's interesting. Look, now it's a deep fake. It's turned into a conspiracy theory, right? People are against the government. The government's doing things to us, and all that. Again, no matter what it is, it has these three ingredients in this reality, in this consciousness: um, sacrifice, lack, and control. Those three ingredients, no matter what you do in this reality, is those three ingredients are of this consciousness, and those three ingredients, no matter what you do in this reality, um, include those three. Thus, no matter what we do, we lose our identities, we lose ourselves, and we become very, very destructive. Hence AI. AI is it has become destructive. Although I've been teaching AI, and without that paradigm, and it could be an opportunity. Could be an opportunity for us to really enhance. And the same way AI learns, thousands of years of knowledge in 15 minutes, half an hour, maybe even faster now. It could literally help us turn around, transform us into higher states of being, helping us understand. But we don't know how to program AI. So what do? We dumb it down with our own intelligence, or our own level of consciousness, or our own level of logic, and that's a problem. Love, well, simple. Love in its beautiful state is only one definition. Love. Now we have pure love. We have uh, what are all the different versions of love that are out there? I don't even know anymore, because I just operate from one principal definition, and that's love. But love, it's backstabbing, it's jealousy. It's turned into a tortured. It's turned into a tortured emotion. You have to sacrifice yourself for love. Look what people do for love. That's crazy, crazy shit. I mean, that's. Do you think God created that? It's like, holy fuck. Are you kidding me? Why would nature, God, create something to that level? And then we go, gosh, why is God so mean to us? Why is he so confusing and all that bullshit? It's really not. It's really not. We've just ill defined all those definitions. God, honor, helping people, everything. Everything's been ill defined, and hence where we are today. Hence, this is where frequency meditations come about. Let's purify nature's message, Buddha's message, which is basically closer to nature. Because, oh, and here's one more thing. We all have arguments on, which religion is right. Right? There's, Buddhism. There's uh, Islam. There's Christianity. There's, the Jewish. But they're all really the same. It literally it's an extension. Buddha brought about unbelievable, say, knowledge, understanding. It's like, well, you have to let go of this physical world and understand that you are not part of it, right? And that's basically what his teaching was about, right? Understanding that you're not part of this world. You're in this world, but you're not of it. And then Jesus brought in the love. It's like, gosh, guys, hey, you know what? Now that you understood Buddha's teachings, You understand Buddha's teachings. Now it's like, gosh, can you feel the love? This is how you experience the love, right? It's amazing, right? Because that's where love is about. That's where Jesus's love, his purity of love, in that definition, not our definition, because it just doesn't work, because it's not love. Like somebody said, it's just abusive garbage. Absolutely. So Jesus brought in the concept, the idea of bringing in. It's like, this is what you can feel. You can even heal yourself. You can even come back to life if you understood what love is really about. Because again, the pure source that he called it God in its purity allows that to happen. Right? You can do immaculate things with love. And then Muhammad came by and he goes, yeah, you know what? These are all beautiful. Let's apply this to the physical nature of this world. Let's apply this to commerce. Highly successful businessman, Muhammad, doing it the proper way. Let's apply it to our daily lives. Right? There's amazing teachers, amazing teachings. But and Abraham, sorry guys, Abraham basically said, you know what, guys, there's only one source that dictates this reality. Because back in the day they had all these different religions, all these different gods, and all these idols and so on that they worshiped. So not Muhammad, but Abraham basically said, you know what, guys, there has to be only one source. He's like a true scientist, by the way. Got a little messed up with that realization, but a true scientist. And he realized, you know what? There's only one principle that dictates this reality, right? There's only one source. There's only one law that governs this reality, and it stems from this reality. So if you look at the four teachers, and there's many others, but those are the basic structure of this reality. And then what do? We fucking argue about it. Every one of those great individuals have given us a precious knowledge. And what have we done? We fucked it up. Religions nowadays, it's, look at that. It's one of the outside of the medical community. I don't know if it could be even, but religions have killed more individuals than anything else. The medical community, it's a second leading cause of death in the U.S. So I don't know, which one's more, but probably religion. So think of it, something that is so benevolent, something that these great teachers have come to understand. It's like, damn, guys, this is what we could have. This is what God gave us a gift to. And then it's like, here, take it. And then, well, we trashed it, just like everything else. All right. So let's take a deep breath in. And then on top of that, no offense, I'm just releasing all the garbage for you. Take a breath in. Just notice your chest, your ribs. On top of that, we don't blame ourselves. That's the sad thing. We don't blame. We don't take that control. It's like, well, parents, the government, whatever, God. It's like, okay. But so let's take responsibility. And that's what Buddha was really about. It's about taking responsibility, understanding the logistics of this reality. Right? One of the biggest teachings of Buddha, as you, again, get comfortable, and you might want to sit like Buddha here, my buddy. I don't know how many Buddha statues I've got throughout the house. Let's take a deep breath in. Now that we've gotten rid of all that garbage, and do you notice how as I talked about it, the essence, your presence, not here it might have changed, but the essence of who you are, your genetics, right down to your cellular level. It's like there's a stirring. Some of you maybe it's uncomfortable, but some of you, most of you, is like, gosh, you know what, that's a big release. Comment in on that, right? So why is that? Because your genetics, your DNA listens. It's listening all the time. It's observing. It's beyond the concepts here. It's your ancient brain that's always observing you, always knowing, always trying to find the truth. And it hasn't found the truth, but when it hears the truth, it's like it resonates, right? Because truth resonates so purely. It's like, oh my God, that's so true. Even if you don't like what I said, you'll go, something stirs inside you, right? So pay attention to that, right? Don't go, science hasn't proven it. It's bullshit. Science hasn't been around, 6 billion years. It's only been around a couple 100,000 at least, right? So take a deep breath in again. All right. One of the biggest teachings of Buddha that we are going to correct is, and I wrote this down when I did. I have um, um, a new a new course coming up. It's Buddhist states, helping you get into Buddhist states. Much better, much faster, um, much more intense than say normal Buddhist teachings that could take years, decades, or lifetimes. By the way, to achieve, you don't have to do that. So, and it came to me as I was meditating with Buddha or on Buddha, and the biggest thing that Buddha wants to say communicate his teachings is basically what he said was suffering is not a prerequisite of enlightenment. So suffering is not a prerequisite of enlightenment. And somebody might want to write that down for the rest. Okay, it's a result of being unenlightened. Think of it. So when I heard of it, it's like, damn, brilliant. And I'm going, that's right. So suffering is not a prerequisite of enlightenment. It's a result of being unenlightened. Think of it. Take a deep breath in. And then another breath in. And then another breath in. If you think about that, most people have attached even becoming enlightened to going through suffering. Look at all the religions. Again, look what you go through to, the love of your kids, the love of nature, the love of anything. You have to go through suffering because we've attached that definition to enlightenment. Breath in again. Noticing your back. And we'll bring in the world. We'll bring in the human, living or dead. We'll bring in the unseen, intelligence that's out there, the higher intelligence, some aliens perhaps, whatever it might be. Consciousness is always exists. It's always listening. So we'll bring them in as well in our, say, prayers, let's call it. A strong deep breath in. Noticing your lower back. We'll bring in the leaders of the world, whether they're industrial leaders, political leaders. We need that for sure today. Because they always tell us, they want to do the right thing for us. Well, if they want to do the right thing, they have to know what the right thing is to do it for us. Otherwise, we just go around in circles. Take a deep breath in, noticing your throat, your neck. And notice the state that you're in. I didn't get you into a meditative practice. I didn't calm your mind. In fact, the opposite. I pushed you into the present moment. How do I do that? Well, through XI, science, Exponential Intelligence science, which you can do as well if you practice. Because this is the way it's supposed to be. In perfection, in the moment. Because that's where perfection lies, in the moment. Take a deep breath in. What that quote means is that suffering is basically you being out of time. You're not in the moment. Possessions keep you out of time. Your idea of self. How much money you have or you don't have. How religious you are and what you practiced for your religions. The science that you dearly hold on to that is not the best. It's good, could be better. But we hold on to all those things. Again, those are ideas that keep you out of the present moment, keep you suffering. So suffering isn't some sacred trial we have to endure to get to enlightenment. Take a deep breath in. It's what we experience when we're disconnected. We're living in that, say, unenlightened state. It's a sign we've lost touch with who we truly are, a powerful, infinite being. It's way beyond the limits of pain and struggle. In fact, at those levels, we don't even have those emotions of pain and struggle. Suffering is telling you that you are out of the best possible moment that you could create yourself in. Extreme suffering is like, damn, you're way off. Way off. You shouldn't even be here. What the hell are you doing? Like, when you're lost, you're looking for directions and people ask you, not in this town, right? It's like that. You're way off. As a society, we're way off. Take a deep breath in again. When we're in that unenlightened space, we're locked into a reality that's shaped by fear and limitations. Where everything feels like it's happening to us. Again, it's happening to us. The government, our lover, spouse, our kids, our job, right? God, everything is against us. That's the place where suffering thrives. That's the neighborhood that we've driven down as a whole, where we're stuck in this cycle of believing that our lives are bound by time, space, and outside forces. We think that we're powerless, that suffering is part of the journey. Take a deep breath in. And noticing your chest. Let's just get that heaviness off us. Strong deep breath in again. And then many people would go, well, I have to go through suffering just the way I came into it. I have to go back out of it. Right? The same path. You really don't, especially with XI. Strong deep breath in again. Noticing your neck, your back. Unfortunately, like Annette here, suffering is being 67 years old, can't find a job, can't pay bills, I'm afraid. I would be too. Breath in. When we're holding on to that identity, that's where we suffer. And then we cling on to it. We think it's a blanket that's going to provide security for us, safety for us. Through exponential intelligence, we learn that enlightenment doesn't come from pushing through pain. It's about stepping above it. It's about aligning with the higher frequencies where suffering has no grip. And when we tune in to that higher consciousness, notice your chest. We start to see challenges not as punishment, like you do, Annette, but as opportunities for growth, ways to expand beyond what holds us back. Of course, as we age, another aspect of suffering, it's a snowball effect. An aspect of suffering is we continue on the sufferings of our predecessors, our parents, grandparents, great-grandparents. And then our life is the product of the past. Again, our life is a product of the past. You notice your lower back. We've been deep. There's people here, yep, they're going to feel like they're suffering, and they are. As we become enlightened, we have to move away, we have to move out those things that aren't us. It's like a tumor that's invaded our body. It's a tumor that's invaded our identity. We have to burn away that tumor. Again, it's not a process of enlightenment. It's just a process that we've been unenlightened for so long that as we come from the darkness into the light, some of us can do that very efficiently. Some of you have done that very efficiently, right? Some of you have just go, what? I don't need this anymore. And this is where some of you, again, your tumors have just like disappeared within like days. I don't claim to cure anybody, but what I do, and nobody should, not even Western medicine. But what I do best, and nobody can claim that, is I help you awaken your natural healing self. So you don't have to suffer. Take a deep breath in. Some, however, they hold on to that identity. Perhaps they hold on to that identity thinking it's them. Some of us are so distorted. We've got so much like distorted tumors within our identity that, well, as we awaken, it's easier to awaken on the other side because our body is just too shattered, too tattered for that. But the point is that we awaken, whether it's here on this side or on the other side, depending on where you are and how soon or how fast you want to disconnect. That's all. But the key is, as you take a deep breath in, as more and more people awaken, more and more people enlighten themselves, it makes it easier for those who join the path to become enlightened faster. So suffering can turn into strengths. Take a deep breath in. Exercise shows us that suffering isn't fate. It's just a signal that says, hey, you're out of alignment. You're not connected to your true self. And when we finally connect with that true limitless part of ourselves, suffering fails or falls away. And then we realize we can live beyond pain, beyond fear. So enlightenment isn't waiting at the end of suffering. It's what we step into the moment as we align with our true essence. So we can feel it now. We can feel that enlightened space now. We don't have to go through the process. And as we experience that enlightened state, notice your back, your shoulders. Start to find more efficient ways of becoming enlightened rather than going through the hard process of suffering all aspects. Especially when somebody else has done it for you. There's billions of people that have gone through all the stages of suffering that you probably ever need to go through. We don't have to keep repeating it. All you have to do is tap into the human consciousness and go, shit, those people have done it for me. What did I learn from them? It's one way to step out of suffering. That was Buddha's teachings, by the way. So no, step away from your physical identity of who you are. He didn't mean, take a deep breath in. He didn't mean to, disconnect you from the physical identity and do without. What he meant was, do not identify yourself. Do not create a presence. Do not create an identity of who you are with your physical abilities, with your wealth, with your knowledge, with your intelligence. Know that you are an infinite being. And once you understand that concept, the world provides for you. The world becomes a reflection of the brilliance that you are. Take a deep breath in again. Notice your spine from the top all the way through the bottom. Think of it. The world becomes a reflection of how brilliant you are. There's no suffering there. So look at the reflection of what's around you. It's just a sign that we don't understand who we truly are. That's all. So as we wake up, as we step away from our physical representation, this is what spatial referencing is about, right, guys? We start to understand that these physical objects do not support us in any way. They're just a reflection of who we are. And as we, again, reference who we are at a much, much higher level, what happens? The reflection of that brilliance shines upon the physical nature of this reality. You can see it in your body. Many of you have aged younger, have beautified yourself, has gained back a second chance on life. Many of you, your wealth has come back, or you do more with less. Your relationships have gotten stronger. Brilliance. You understand what love is about. You understand a true nature of what the definition of God is about. Deep breath in. Strong deep breath in. Knowing thyself. That's what Buddhist teaching is about. Knowing yourself without reference points of this reality. The initial phase of spatial referencing, right? Or what I call facial referencing. Breathe deep. We'll go in silence for a bit. Breathe. Exhale those things that you are not. And breathe in the essence of your true self. As we share the gifts of what Buddha presented to us, notice the cavity of your chest all the way down into your digestive organs. Let's fill that space in with the purity of you. There we go. There we go. Going to leave you in this state for as long as you wish. You can stay in this state in your waking hours. You don't have to be in meditative state. You can operate from this state 24/7. Imagine if you could operate from this state, or how you could operate from this state, by asking yourself those types of questions. It's like, gosh, how can I create my life in these states 24/7? How can I operate from this frequency 24/7? And just keep asking yourself that. And the solutions will show up for you. Your idea of who you are will show up for you because it's already within you. That's what Buddha was talking about. It's already within you. Notice it. And then go out and adventure in this physical world. Go out and enjoy the luxuries of this life. He didn't say do without. He said understand, prepare yourself first, and then go out on your journey here. It's a very simple message. To continue on with this, we have 1111 activation. Actually, XI activation. Yeah. November 11th. So take a look at that, guys. All right. With that, guys, as always, notice what you notice and notice the details of what you're noticing. All right.